welcome to the MDG Podcast. This is episode number 5. We have Jon August in the studio with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, singer-songwriter, how long have you been doing what you've been doing? And are you from LA?
Yeah, where are you from?
I lived in Cerritos for like most of my life.
Oh, okay, cool.
I came here from the Philippines when I was 9.
Not so you know about Jerry's Grill.
Yeah.
Brother.
I performed at Jerry's Grill.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Cerritos,
where I met Erica.
Really?
Erica
Was she performing there?
We were performing together. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to go there a lot.
Yeah, I was there like every Thursday. Every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday sometimes. Yeah.
Off South. And,
Yeah.
Near South and Gridley.
Yep.
So, okay, Philippines is like where all the amazing karaoke singers exist, right?
Yeah, there's something about the air over there that just,
It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
it's ingrained in our culture, I think.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
It's like their repertoire of music is crazy.
yeah.
Like, I don't know, all my
These-
Filipino friends probably know more music than I do.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And their voices, it's like,
Yeah.
they're all American idols. Like,
Mhm.
they're just,
Yeah.
it's
For sure.
insane.
Yeah, because they come out the womb with a mic and they just, all right, let's do karaoke.
Yeah.
Were
They
you
sing
doing
Celine Dion?
Were you doing music from a super young age?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was involved in music when since I was super young. I would sing and stuff, but I didn't really like create music or pursue music until very, 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 very recently. But yeah, I learned how to play the piano at like 4. I was never really trained. It was just like looking at my dad play the
Yeah.
piano. You know, he grew up in the choir. He learned how to play the guitar because my mom was in the choir. They met in college, and he taught himself how to play the guitar, to win her, and he did.
That's
So,
dope.
I
That's
learned how to
awesome.
play piano from him.
Yeah.
When was your first show ever?
I think it was at the House of Blues in, the one that closed down. The
Yeah,
one on
Hollywood.
Sunset.
Right? Sunset.
Oh,
The
yeah.
one on Sunset.
I was about
But
to-
it was the
They-
Voodoo Lounge.
They have a few different. Wait, the Voodoo Lounge. I thought that was
Was it the Voodoo Lounge?
Wait, I thought.
Yeah,
Voodoo
that was
Lounge,
inside of
It
House
was-
of Blues.
Yeah,
on
it wasn't
Sunset
the main
Boulevard.
stage, but it was
Yes.
Okay, there's a
come
few
in and it
rooms.
was like a little.
Yeah. It's a smaller room, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
smaller.
I played in there.
Why have I always thought that was at the? I thought the Voodoo Lounge was.
Unless I'm remembering.
No, you're probably
incorrectly.
right. I'm probably messing something. What was Johnny Depp's club? It was. That was the Viper
The Viper
Room,
Room's
and then
still
I
there.
thought the Voodoo Lounge was
Viper
in the
Room's still
base. What was the basement in the Viper Room?
There was
There's like a very small, and I played with 4 other dudes in this little. We were like this the whole time. So anyway, it's whatever. But so the Voodoo Lounge is your first show.
Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, I know about that room too. I don't know, man.
I have never played in the Viper Room, but
I haven't been there in a long time.
Have you ever played the Mint?
no, but I've seen shows there.
They got good sound there.
I played.
I hate the drum set there.
Yeah.
It's just like never the funnest place.
Yeah.
at
Well,
the Mint. I've
yeah.
seen a couple of acts to play there, but I played at the House of Blues because my homie was performing there and he needed an opener, and he wanted me to come on and like help sell tickets and stuff. So that was my first ever show, and I was like, I hit up my best friend. We were like, hey, he's a singer too, and it's like, we have this show opportunity. We need a drummer, and so we hit up my other friend, and who we knew, like the only drummer we knew, and we formed a little group, and it was a little group that could for a little bit. It was like a couple of years,
yeah.
like right out of high school, and we tried to like do like an EP and stuff.
Mhm.
It was funny. We did the Voodoo Lounge, and we didn't really have original songs, but someone at the House of Blues was like, "Hey, I really liked how you guys sounded. Do you guys have anything out?" And we were like, "No, but we can definitely record some
something
stuff.
happen, yeah.
we record some stuff for you." She's like, "Okay, I work for XYZ. This is my card. Like, send me some stuff." And then like I was like 17 at the time. And I was like, "Oh, cool! Like, this is a cool opportunity," but I didn't really take it seriously, and we never sent her the thing. And I was.
That's typical musicianship.
Oh my god.
We never said her the thing, but it did get us started. We're like, you know what? That's right. Like, we definitely should do something like that.
Yeah.
So we got started on like writing for that summer. It was 2013 summer. It was just like writing every day at my best friend's house, like
Mhm.
you know, making songs, and it eventually turned into like a 5-song EP that we recorded with our friend. And then he was having a release party at the in Pomona. It's the Glass House. I don't know if you ever performed there.
I've been there. I've never performed there.
Yeah, so it was a cool venue, and it was pretty big, and that was like maybe our second or third show with the Chain Reaction. Like
Okay.
it's like a little venue thing in OC, but yeah, so we did the Glass House, and we packed it. It was like in the triple digits, and it was really good for I think 3 bands.
Okay.
And we sold tickets, and we were like, this is our release show, but we didn't finish the EP in time.
Oh my god! So you guys were doing covers?
So, no. We didn't finish recording it. Like we had
Okay.
the songs out.
Yeah.
But then we were like, yeah, thank you guys for coming out to
We
our
don't have
EP
anything to
release.
sell.
We don't have anything to sell. We don't have any merch.
Oh wow!
It's not on any streaming platforms because Spotify was pretty new at the time. But thank you for coming to the
That's
release show.
funny.
Yeah. And then
That's-
we released it like maybe
that's
like
awesome.
2 weeks later.
So do you have music out now?
I do have music out
Okay,
now.
cool,
Yeah, I
yeah.
just released a project last year.
So you said that but you're not with these guys anymore.
The guys that I'm talking about, I'm no longer with them, but he's my best friend. He was my best man, and he like manages me too. He helps me out with a lot
Oh,
of like
sweet.
the business side.
Yeah, that's cool.
He retired, and I was like, I always try to
Yeah.
get him back. And be like, hey,
Mhm.
I'm doing this gig. You want to come sing with me? He's
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
"Ah."
nah. He's like, nah, I'm
no
good.
thanks. But yeah,
That's funny.
I released a project last year, and it has 5 songs too, and it has a bunch of songs that I've written over the decade. But I just have this thing where I'm like, sometimes I write things and then I like them, and then the next day I don't like them. So it's just like
I
it's
think
a constant,
everybody has that.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
constant battle for me. And even when I put it out, I was like, oh, I'm so proud of this body of work. And then once it's released, like 2 weeks later, I was like, dude, I want to take it down. I want to take it down so bad. Like I'm not, I don't like them anymore. But
You got to kill your darlings. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta let them go.
yeah, I
Yeah.
let them go. But now I'm happy with them.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all. So you have one EP out
Mm-hmm.
with the group that you were with before, and now, so you have how many songs do you have total?
Just me as a
Out.
solo is just 5.
Okay.
It's just that EP.
How do you like doing solo?
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's different because it was a dual lead, so I always had to rely on someone on stage. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I also got used to only writing first verses.
Oh, right.
So-
He would write the second verse.
he would
write
write
his
the second
yeah.
verse. And so a lot of my song ideas, I'd sit down and I'd write the first verse, first chorus really quickly, and I get stuck.
On the second verse.
Yeah, to this day.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of like demos or like song ideas on my phone or on my computer, and they're first verse, first chorus, and it takes me like forever to write the second verse.
Are the hooks good though?
Yeah, I
That's really the most important
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, man. I mean, like you could easily go first verse, chorus into the bridge.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could,
Yeah.
you could switch it up. I mean, like it's not. I understand what you're doing, but
Yeah. So
You know.
it was a little weird being a solo, but it took some time to get used to. Like
Yeah. It's like there's this double-edged sword because you don't have to rely on anybody.
mhm.
With my band, I mean I love my last band to death, but it was like you're managing 4 other people
Four
or
people,
3 other
yeah.
people, and then there's something so freeing about doing it on your own because you don't have to rely on yourself, but then you don't have the backup.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
you played Lower Deck Sessions, right?
Yeah.
Is that where you guys met?
That we met the other
We met-
night.
We met in Lower Deck.
Oh,
no,
right.
sorry. We met
Right.
at Taylor Felt's release. EP
Yes,
release.
that's
That's
right.
what I'm asking. But was that at Lower Deck?
But
session?
I think I saw you at Lower Deck, but we didn't.
Wait,
even,
were
we
you
didn't-
there?
I
Were you there at that night that
I
Taylor?
can't remember.
played?
I don't go to a lot of Lower Decks.
the one that like happened the week before the release party.
No, I didn't go to that one.
Oh, okay.
No,
That was the
no.
one
That was okay.
because
okay.
I had met her at Lower Deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was like-
okay. This is
Yeah.
for sure.
But so I saw your Instagram post
Uh-huh.
playing Lower Deck. Did you? I cannot remember. Was it just? It seemed like you had people behind you though, right?
so now I have a like consistent band that I play with,
Okay.
but
cool.
it's under like me as a solo artist.
Okay.
But they're very
So wait, when you were saying you were a solo artist, you're really solo. Like it's just you and nobody else. Like you don't have a band.
like the name of your project is Jon August.
yeah. So
Oh, okay.
that's me. Like it's under like me as an artist.
Right.
But prior to that, I was in the group. Like it was.
Yeah,
like-
yeah, I understood that, but I'm saying like when you're doing your solo
Yeah.
stuff, do you have a band?
Oh,
with you?
I had a band.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
But it was I meant like solo as in like I'm the only one singing.
For sure,
as opposed to like,
yeah,
all right,
two other people.
I can hand
Yeah.
my the other verse to
Oh yeah,
another
yeah.
guy.
Okay.
Or,
What are you working on right now?
I'm trying to put out a project before August because what I want to do is
that intentional?
Okay.
Jon August
Yeah.
project.
yeah, I guess so. Huh? It's intentional now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But I'm trying to put out a project because the way I like to listen to music is like bodies of work. So like I go in the car or like I'm doing some work at home or something like that, and I'll pick an artist. And I'll be like, all right, I want to listen to Daniel Caesar's Freudian today. I want to listen to Blonde today. I want to listen to Songs in the Key of Life, and I listen to them in order.
Yeah.
I rarely listen to playlists, but I mean, occasionally I do. So me as an artist, like I understand that in order to kind of get, people interested or keep their attention is you have to release like singles,
Yeah,
to tease like
especially now,
projects.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You have to like make sure that, your little 10 seconds of, attention that you can get from the masses is something that, will be
Yeah.
worth their while because you're competing with so many other things.
Yeah.
But it like goes against like how I consume music as a consumer. And I'm like, okay, like me as an artist, I want to just put out bodies of work. Like we're storytellers. Like I want to really like sit down, think about like what story is it that I'm trying to tell, and then put out a body of work that like depicts that.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do.
That's really cool. So you're kind of building EPs and albums that are like, have story arcs throughout so each song is related to one another.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So like the one that I released last year, in August,
Every August.
Every
August,
August.
There
yeah.
you go.
I just come out like the entirety of the year I'm at home, and then August I come out.
That's cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was called Lovers and Friends, and the idea behind it was like I just thought about the cycle of like it's pretty on the surface, being lovers and being friends. Sometimes it's at the same time, sometimes it's one after another, and it doesn't have to necessarily be in order. And so that EP, the 5-song EP, kind of like has a little timeline to it where you have like my first song, New Heights, on there, kind of sets the scene of like you seeing a girl from across the room, and you're like, damn, like I see you across the room, like you're doing something.
You look good, girl. You look at me. You doing something.
Yeah. And then you're just like, all right, like let me see if I can talk to you. Let me do these things for you. This is all the things I promise you. And then it gets to like the progression of lovers and friends. So it's like you got the initial interaction, and then you have like the fling, and then you have like the problems, the ups and downs, and then you have like the actual like meeting. There's like a pretty like sexy song in there that's just, and then afterwards it's just like and then the last it's 5 tracks, but 4 tracks are intertwined, and the last one was kind of like, I like this one. Let me just put it in there. And it was about love, and it was about like just love being for everyone. And I just thought I'd put it out there.
That's cool.
A lot of artists are just doing which is cool too, but they it reminds me of, you ever listen to Mars Volta?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so they're like they're known for having these long albums of just Thomas Pridgen.
That's the only reason why I listened to
Yeah,
Mars
he's such a crazy drummer, but they do that too in their albums. Like
That's
they
sick.
have their full 15-song album, and they tell a story throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
which I respect. I actually,
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day when you could go to the store and actually buy your favorite album from your artist that was releasing, that week. You find out, this artist released an album.
The golden days.
Yeah. You walk into the music store, it's like there's album.
Yeah.
You buy it, it's got like 21 songs on the back. It's got the artwork.
Yeah.
Everything is so, it seems like everything's so fleeting right now. let me tell you, I ask this question of every artist we have in here. Joe's probably super tired of this question, but the AI, I always like to get each artist's take on like what.
I don't think I'm tired of that question. I mean,
because I think everyone, because every artist is going to have a different take on what are you going to do with this new technology,
thing,
and how do you how do you differentiate yourself? How do you survive? I guess.
Or how do you utilize
or how
it?
do or how do you use it to your advantage?
I don't utilize it, but
Yeah.
I do see like how it'll affect the industry. Like it'll affect it in a big way. I don't know if it'll be positively or negatively, but for me, a lot of what I think of as an artist, and like when you're putting out art out there for the world, is authenticity. It's like people know when you listen to something or when they see you if you're being authentic or not. And a lot of artists nowadays, they put stuff out there that they think people want to listen to. And so it becomes like and then it ties into the whole thing where like, oh, everything's fleeting. We're like fighting for attention. Yeah. And all these artists are like, I have this art I want to do, but in order for me to be noticed for the artist that I am, the storytelling that I am, and for people to be invested in who I am, I have to kind of conform to all these ideas of
and compromise.
Yeah, and compromise for like marketing and so it just becomes like repetitive content.
Yeah, I think the disconnect for AI, kind of piggybacking off what you're saying, is like, yeah, AI could write a song for you, right?
Yeah, and
that's awesome, and that's probably good for some people. But going back to authenticity, right? I'm a firm believer. Like, if I'm gonna sell you a product, I actually have to believe in the product that I'm selling.
Yeah.
Same with singing. Like, you got to believe in the song you're singing. Like, yeah, AI can write the song for you.
Yeah.
But do you believe what AI is telling you? Like, you know what I'm saying? When you're singing it, is that what you really... It's different when you actually write a song and it's coming from experience.
Yeah.
There's an emotion that goes into the lyrics. Then when you begin to sing it, there's a connection there.
Yeah.
And that's resonating, out of you into someone else so people can relate to what you're singing. When AI writes the song, there's no emotion there.
No, there's not.
And you have to create that emotion and somehow connect to the lyrics, which is a whole nother process. It's like playing drums to a song you hate.
Well, think about how
you know what I'm saying?
It's funny because there's so many ghostwriters in the industry.
Yeah.
And so these artists, they have to.
But again, it's coming from someone who has feeling. Yeah. Like even a writer, bro, like a ghostwriter, they're like, you go to a ghostwriter, like, yo, man, write me a song about this chick that I dated.
Yeah.
And this happened. And they're like, okay, cool. And they write it and you begin to see the lyrics. You're like, oh, wait, I can relate to that. Because there's emotion. Like there's like a connection there, right?
Yeah.
When you're dealing with AI, I think that's eliminated.
I think you can actually use it for
organization.
Writer's block. Organization, or even writer's block. Like, hey, I just need I just need one little idea right here, and then you can then tap your soul into it.
Yeah,
I
mean, it's like I said, if you use it the right way, I think it could be great.
Yeah,
definitely.
But if you're completely relying on AI to write you a song, I mean, you'll get a song.
Yeah.
But when it comes time to perform it, are you connected to the song?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, that's where people's gonna be like, I mean, sounds good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, like, you ever seen somebody sing a song and you're like, song sounds great, but they're not connected to it.
Yeah.
You hear that all the time when you go into like auditions and you have like prime example, like American Idol, right? One of the things that they teach, like, yeah, man, you got the voice, you got that, everything's there, bro. Now sing it like you actually mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, have you heard those AI covers though?
They're crazy.
They're kind of convincing. They're starting to have emotion to them, and I'm like, that's I don't know how I feel about that.
It's crazy.
But I mean, going back to the AI thing, it's like, you have a lot of talented songwriters, talented ghostwriters, and thousands of songs that are like hits are being made, every single passing moment. But what ties the audience and the viewers to like the song is the story behind the song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a lot of these artists that have like really big songs, but they don't necessarily have like the longevity or like the traction that artists who have like a vision or an image or like art that they can present as an artist, to the world. For example, like you have like Daniel Caesar, he has his own sound. He has like a whole team behind him. Frank Ocean's like, he has his own thing, you know what I mean? It's like, it has everything to do with like the emotion, the presentation behind it. So you can have AI write a great song, but as long as it's not like, if you don't get it the right love or the right, presentation, it's not gonna do anything.
Do you have a we should actually go around. Do you have a favorite song? Do you have like, if you had to name my favorite songs tend to shift, but like if you had to pick one song that was mythical status for you, what would that be?
I have like, top 5 albums or something like that.
Yeah.
And I also have like a list of every time I hear a song there's a list where I go like, oh, that's a song I wish I wrote. Like Heart Don't Stand a Chance by Anderson .Paak. I'm like, that's a song I wish I wrote.
Yeah.
Yo, pause. Did you see? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you just made me get reminded. This week, was it TMZ? They had Jermaine Dupri talking about, I think it was the top 100 songs, and because they released this all the time, right? I think it was on it was like top 100 on Billboard or something like that. And number 1 was Lauryn Hill, and Lauryn Hill like beat it. Yeah, it was Lauryn Hill, and she beat the Thriller album. It was Lauryn Hill's what is that?
Miseducation.
Yes, that album was number 1, and Thriller was like number 3.
What?
Yeah, and then there were all these other legendary artists, like Stevie Wonder was like 5.
What?
Yeah, and people were like in uproar, like why did they do that? But I mean, I guess they did that so that we would be talking about it. But
it's working.
Yeah, which is working, but it's just, and no knock to Lauryn Hill. I love Lauryn Hill. Like Lauryn Hill's great. I mean, I think she's definitely she's got to be in the top 100, but I mean, there's just a lot of other people. Like, I don't think Whitney Houston was on that joint.
Wow.
Jermaine Dupri wasn't on there, bro. All the hits he had in the 90s. Like, yeah, and Thriller was like number 3 or 4. Thriller should have been 1.
Yeah.
What about like, okay, well, here, like, do you have any songs that are lyrically legendary to you, storytelling wise?
That's hard because then I start going into the country bag.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like country music, it just best storytelling.
It's really good storytelling.
Yeah.
I think
like even like listen, I could sit and listen to Chris Stapleton.
Oh, he's so good.
You know what I'm saying? All day.
Amazing, yeah.
Anything by Stevie Wonder, I think is amazing.
For sure. Stevie Wonder's up there.
I think he probably has written the best love songs to ever be recorded.
I think so too.
I think one comes to mind is "Knocks Me Off My Feet" by Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
And there's a line in the second verse where I was like, dude, how did you come up with that? He goes, "We lay beneath the stars under a lover's tree that's seen through the eyes of my mind. I reach out for the part of me that lives in you that only our 2 hearts can find." I'm like,
I'm telling you, they are connected, bro, to some divine source. Right now, I listened to this whole breakdown of Hotel California too, and it's just some of these songs, like even like I know they're kind of cliche, I guess to say, but if you really look at the storytelling in these songs, it's like Hotel California, for example, is the perfect ambiguity between like what are you talking about? Are you talking about the industry? Are you talking about California in general?
Right.
Are you talking about selling your soul? Like what? And that song was, I think, rewritten 4 times.
Wow.
And I think that would have to be. That's an amazing line. Like
I'm telling you, bro, but there's a lot. There's like 100 of those Stevie Wonder lines, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like when you ask that question, it's like. You got to put a lot of people in there, but Stevie's at the top for sure.
Yeah, I mean, country singer songwriters are pretty.
They're. I mean, bro, like, and I'm not even like a super fan of.
But Chris Stapleton is amazing,
bro.
I mean, they kind of have.
Come on, like you could just Chris Stapleton could sing trash lyrics and still make the song sound amazing. Like, come on, fam.
Golden
like,
voice, man. He has a golden voice.
It's just him and the guitar only. It's like I don't need anything else.
Yeah, but I think it kind of lends itself too with the genre. It's like country. You have a lot of like the similar, chord progressions. So it's like, how are you going to make the song different through the lyrics? You know what I mean? So,
will you play a song for us?
Absolutely, yeah.
Amazing.
Cool.
All right.
This song is called Fireproof, and I wrote it in
August.
I think it's similar. No.
Yeah, see,
I wrote it in September. And
this song's not gonna be good. But
I wrote it at a time where I was trying to figure out what to do with like everything, like with my career, me as an artist, and so I kind of look at it as like a song where I'm like standing at a crossroads and I'm just like trying to figure out like what keeps me motivated, what keeps me pushing on, what keeps me wanting to pursue like this dream. So this is called Fireproof. Now that I've started, what should I do? Say it always comes back to you. Seasons are changing, pigments of blue leave my mind in two. So I put it off and fuck it up again. Lock it up, the scribbles in my head. Or do I draw the line? Don't turn around, leave it all behind you. This North Star is fireproof. Pick your feet off the ground. It's yours if you decide to. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. Visions of a man, stubborn and cool, wears his heart on his arm tattoos. Sitting in the stands, talking to the moon. Yeah, he's already ready to move. Will he put it off or fuck it up again? Oh, lock it up, the scribbles in his head. Or do I draw the line? Don't turn around, leave it all behind you. This North Star is fireproof. Pick your feet off the ground. It's yours if you decide to. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. It's a little snippet of it.
That was great, man.
Yeah, man.
Excellent, dude. When did you write that? You said
it was, I think, last year.
September, but when? Yeah.
It was around a time where I faced a lot of like rejection, not in terms of like relationships, but in terms of like my journey as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Because prior to that, right, I had pursued it very casually. I had a band with a couple friends, and then I took a break, and then I just did like wedding gigs, college gigs, wine tasting gigs, restaurant gigs. You know what I mean? But it was all very casually. And then it wasn't until last year, like right before August, where I released a project where I was like, you know what? I actually do want to do this. Like I've faced a lot of setbacks, but in this past year, I've had a lot of encounters and interactions with other people and other artists that kind of have validated my love for this art, the music, and it made me believe that this is something I want to do and this is something that I want to pursue. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I decided, and then I was like, you know what, finally I'm going to put out this project. It consisted of songs that I've written like a decade ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And I was like, if I don't release them now, like now that I've decided, if I don't release them now, they're never going to see the light of day. And I owe it to myself to like put it out there. Yeah. So I put it out there, and then that kind of kickstarted me, writing more songs and playing more shows and reaching out to people and be like, oh, this is me. I'm an artist. I'm trying to do shows. I'm trying to collaborate. I'm trying to write. I'm trying to meet people. I'm trying to travel. And it really led to me like taking this seriously. So this song was kind of like the starting point of that, where it was like, okay, like I wrote this song. I really resonated with a lot. It's something that it's been a while since I've like made or written a body of work that I was like, I'm really proud of this. Like, I want to share it with people. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. So yeah, it was around that time in my life where everything was starting. And then almost a year later, I feel like I've made a lot of progress, not in terms of any metric that one can measure, but it's like,
Yeah.
I feel like I've come so far since deciding internally that I'm gonna put myself out there. Like, I'm gonna stay true to myself. I'm gonna try to find my voice, and eventually, like, the people who want to hear the stories, the people who want to hear the music, the people who want to, you know, be a part of that journey will come along. You know,
for
as
sure.
long as I stay true. So
Yeah, well, man, your live performances are so good, and yeah, like I honestly I recommend anyone that's listening to this to go if you're in LA. Do you have shows coming up?
no,
I
I
thought
have.
you shared some like calendar on your Instagram, or is that for something?
Oh wait,
else?
no, I do have a show. I have a show July 5th in San Diego.
Okay.
For my friend, he put together a show, so there's gonna be cool bands there. But I haven't been actively booking shows because I wanted to focus on finishing my project. Because I'm just like, if I focus on trying to market and trying to get people out there, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, and then I want to focus on, you know, delivering, you know, my project faithfully to, you know, my vision. And once it's finally finished, putting it out there and having this thing to showcase and, you know, taking it, you know, around Southern California. I plan to, like, I met some friends, you know, all across the country that I'm like, all right, like, and, you know, maybe I'll go to, like, Nashville, I'll go to, like, Portland, Seattle, New York, Philadelphia, Miami. I'm just like, I met people there that know the local scene there. I'm going to take my songs very grassroots approach because I love, like, meeting people. I love, like, connecting with people and just playing those, like, local shows because I feel like not a lot of people do that anymore.
It's crazy now because it only takes one. It only takes one song, really, and then everyone starts to get interested in everything else you got going on.
Yeah, but you know? I mean, not a lot of people realize it takes time. Like,
it takes time.
It takes time for the artist to finally, like, you know, see the fruits of his labor, and then it takes time. And that's just like internally, like, oh, you mastered your craft or you've worked on your craft, you know, continuously, and now you're finally seeing your efforts pay off. And then you start to try to break into the industry, and now that takes time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, you see a lot of artists that are blowing up now, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, it's so cool seeing them blow up this past year. Like, Noah Khan, for example. You know what I mean? He blew up exponentially in, like, the last year. But he's been touring, like, since it was, like, 2016, 2017, something like he's had projects out. He's, like, opened up for, like, James Bay 2019, and it's 2024, and now he's, like, he released an album, like, 2022 or 2023, something like that. And that's, like, what propelled him to, like, the mainstream. But that's, like,
a long time.
It's a little under a decade. It's not over a decade, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
People are, like, looking for that overnight success, but it's just, like, I think you just gotta, you know, stay true to yourself, focus. As much as you want to try to garner attention and, like, you know,
well, it always looks like an overnight success when you get a hit, and then no one ever realizes how much you've, you know, had to sacrifice. How would you handle success, you think? Like, there's a lot of new challenges that come with that.
Yeah, I thought about this too because
you have a family, you know.
I have a family,
and we were talking a little bit about that the other night.
Yes, we were.
And does your wife support? Does she
fully?
And
it's like that. I can't do what I do without that support. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And, like, that has helped me, you know, from deciding, like, oh, this is what I want to do, to her, like, all right, I understand this is what you want to do. When you have shows, when you have to travel, when you have to do XYZ things,
so
we'll make it work. Like, we'll
she's...
support. She also has a career. She also has her own goals, but she's still supportive in a way that allows me to, you know, do maybe sometimes 3 shows, 4 shows a week or something like that.
That's great.
Do sessions, or just, like, go out and support the local scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I thought about this because I've had a lot of opportunities, definitely, like, when I was younger, to really pursue it. You know, because you get in touch with, you know, radio stations, you get in touch with record labels, but I honestly think if, you know, I, like, took off back then, you know, say if that was the case, I'm not saying it was gonna, but if that were to happen and I found success way back then, I would not have taken it well, because I don't think I would have been well equipped with the wisdom that I have now of, like, you know, how I handle relationships, how I handle, certain things like attention. And
you think you would have ended up at a P. Diddy party?
Most likely. You know what I mean?
He said most likely.
Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're young, you're very like impressionable, and it's crazy to see like a lot of mainstream artists today like get started so young, and you see them in you see them established now, and you see them in the eyes of adulthood, but they started out with decisions being made for them. Yeah. And I'm like, that could have easily been
or
me.
To them.
Yeah, or to them, exactly. So it's like so I'm just like, now that I've experienced a lot of life, experienced a lot of things that have led me to who I am today. I feel like I would handle that a lot better, because now I have a very, very solid base, solid ground. And so if any batshit things come at me, you know what I mean, like I'll be able to stay grounded, and I have a support system. I've built a community of friends. My family is all supportive, and a lot of the people I met in the past year or so, super supportive in the music community. So I feel like if success were to hit me, I'd definitely be able to handle it as best as one could.
Where you should give a shout out to all of the where they can listen to your music, find you, IG.
Shout out to that drink right
don't
there.
You
Celsius.
Don't you dare give a free promotion.
Is that what makes your voice sound all velvety and stuff?
Oh, man.
My wife drinks that like all the time. Like, she sends me to the gas station like every other day.
I can't do a show without it.
At least you drink the cool flavors. Like, she drinks the trash flavors.
What flavor is that?
Sparkling
water. Oh, it's watermelon.
Yeah, she drinks like the...
What is it?
The... lime and grass.
I don't like it.
Like, it's just like no flavor. Like, that's like, what do you like? What her and her friend
be drinking like LaCroix.
Wait,
or something.
Who makes Celsius? Isn't like an influencer that makes? Isn't like?
No, I don't know. I know that it's like the healthier energy drink, so they say. But I mean,
so they
say. Yeah, so they say.
But yeah, I mean, it's been around for a while.
Wait, get off Celsius. Where can they? I can't remember talking about that. Like, share. Like, where do they find you? Well, this Celsius drink. So
you can find Celsius and I.
In August.
Jon August, Jon August Music on Instagram and Twitter. Jon.August on TikTok. Jon August Music on YouTube. Jon August and Spotify. Pretty much everything.
Awesome, dude. Thanks for coming and talking with us. This is great. Great song, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Sound great, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate it.